Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is August 25th, 2026. And ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona's newest signing has officially landed in the city of Barcelona. Also, I'm going to tell you about how a Barca Athletic player just got promoted to the first team. Or I should say, I'm going to tell you who it is. And finally, Barcelona have decided that it's Julian Alvarez or bust. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. And let's begin this video with the news that Shabi Espart, ladies and gentlemen, has been officially promoted to the first team. Now, the 19-year-old academy graduate has impressed Hansi Flick during the preseason. In fact, he had already impressed Hansi Flick during last season when he debuted with the first team, prompting Hansi Flick to compare him to Philipp Lahm. And while this preseason was no different, in fact, his performance during the preseason earned him a start against Elche. And while given Xavi Espart's incredible performance so far, Hansi Flick and Deco have decided to promote the youngster to the first team. Now, Hansi Flick is, of course, a great fan of Shabi Espart. Not only does he consider him a player with lots of potential, but he also likes that he's a versatile player. And of course, we've seen that firsthand where Shabi Espart has played as a right back. He has played as a holding midfielder, as an interior, and most recently as a left back. This guy can play in all positions, and every time he does an amazing job. Now, Shabi Espar will officially receive a first team registration or a senior team registration. He will now wear the number 12 instead of the number 36, which he was wearing before. And it's expected that Barcelona will also give him an improved contract. Now, Shabi Espar currently has a contract until 2028, a youth contract, if you may. And now Barcelona are expected to extend that contract and, of course, increase his salary, his release clause, pretty much hand him a contract worthy of a first-team player. So, in other words, Shabi Espart is no longer a Barca Athletic player or a youth player that just is there to fill in spots and to, be a sub in certain matches. He is now officially a first-team player, and I gotta say, well-deserved, because this guy is brilliant. It's an absolute shame. Well, not really a shame, but I was going to say it's an absolute shame that we have so many midfielders, because I think Shabi Espart could absolutely shine in the midfield, but that's not really a shame. I mean, we have an amazing problem, a problem that many clubs around the world would wish they had, which is that we have so many incredible midfielders. We have 7 midfielders for 3 positions. I mean, that's a problem that anyone would love. Real Madrid doesn't even have a midfield. We have 7 midfielders that could start in any team in the world. Any one of those 7 could start in any team in the world, and we have all 7 of them. So it's not really a shame. But what I mean, as far as Shabi Espart, I think Shabi Espart would be an incredible midfielder for the first team. But given the overbooking, I'm sure he'll end up playing mostly as a fullback than as a midfielder. But either way, we are lucky to have the best academy in the world, where every single season there's always a player that just surprises us all. This season, it's Xavi Espart. That's just La Masia for you. The gift that doesn't stop on giving. Now on to the next bit of news, because check this video out. Here is Livakovic, Dominic Livakovic, the Croatian goalkeeper, arriving today in the Barcelona airport El Prat in order to join his new team. And of course, with this, Livakovic becomes the newest Barcelona signing. What is that? The 6th signing, right? Anthony Gordon, Adeyemi, Bisiwu, Rodri, Cancelo. So yeah, the 6th signing. Dominic Livakovic now becomes the 6th Barcelona signing of this summer transfer market. Remember, they told us we weren't going to sign anyone because we were broke, according to Madridistas. Or apparently, we have now signed 6 players for the first team. Of course, Dominic Livakovic, if you don't know who he is, he's a 31-year-old Croatian goalkeeper who Barcelona just signed from Fenerbahce for 2 million euros plus some variables. He was on his final year contract with Fenerbahce. He spent the second half of last season on loan with Dinamo Zagreb, and now he has signed with Barcelona for 4 seasons. So in other words, until he is 35. Now, the latest development is that there's currently contradictory reports on what's going to happen with Dominic Livakovic. So, of course, the initial reports were saying that Barcelona are going to loan out Livakovic to Dinamo Zagreb, where he will spend this upcoming season there. And then in 2027, which is when Wojciech Szczesny's contract expires, Livakovic will come back and become the second goalkeeper or the substitute for Juan Garcia. But now new reports have emerged that saying that Livakovic could become the second goalkeeper for this season. In other words, he's not going to leave on loan. He's going to stay and become Juan Garcia's substitute, with Wojciech Szczesny being relegated to the third place or third goalkeeper. Now, which one of those reports are true? Well, it's all going to depend on Barcelona's wage bill. In other words, Barcelona are going to see how much space they have left on their wage bill, and if there's enough space to register Livakovic, then Livakovic will stay and become Juan Garcia's substitute or the second goalkeeper, with Szczesny becoming the third. If there isn't enough space for him, then Livakovic will leave on loan and he will become the second goalkeeper next summer when his loan is over and when Szczesny's contract expires. Now, I got to say, I love Szczesny. I think he's a funny guy, but why the hell is he still at the club? I don't know. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think about Livakovic joining Barcelona, and which option would you prefer? Do you prefer Livakovic being the second goalkeeper this season, or do you prefer he comes next summer back from loan to become the second goalkeeper? Let me know down below in the comment section. And now we move on to the big news of today, because Joan Laporta, Hansi Flick, and Deco met today and decided that it is Julián Alvarez or bust. Now, of course, there hasn't been much movement on the Julián Alvarez front, despite the player meeting with everybody there is to meet at Atletico Madrid and letting them know that he only wants to go to Barcelona and Barcelona only. He even made public statements stating that he wants to leave Atletico Madrid. Barcelona presented an offer back in May worth 100 million euros, 90 million euros fixed plus 10 million euros in variables. But despite Barcelona and the players' efforts, Atletico Madrid have maintained the position that Julián Alvarez is not for sale until most recently. This week, there was an emergency meeting at Atletico Madrid between El Cholo Simeone, Matteo Alemany, Gil Marín, and Cerezo, where they decided that the situation with Julián Alvarez is deteriorating. Of course, the player is not happy to be there. The fans are not happy to be there. They were booing him and insulted him in Atletico Madrid's first 2 home matches of the season. So Atletico Madrid have now decided that Julián is for sale, but A, they want 150 million euros, and B, he is for sale, but not for Barcelona. In other words, he can go join Arsenal or whichever team, just not Barcelona. Now, today, Deco, Flick, and Joan Laporta met in order to discuss the situation with Julián Alvarez. And during that meeting, all of them decided that it's either Julián Alvarez or bust. In other words, either Barcelona sign Julián this summer, or they won't sign anyone for the center forward position. Why? Because right now, Barcelona think that there's no one in the market that would be good enough to fill the shoes of Robert Lewandowski. On one hand, there are the center forwards who are good enough but are impossible. Erling Haaland, because he's not leaving Man City and he will be too expensive. Harry Kane, who wants to, of course, renew with Bayern Munich. João Pedro, who Chelsea have decided he's not for sale. And then Lautaro Martinez, who Inter Milan have decided he's not for sale. And then on the other hand, there are the center forwards who are possible, but the Barcelona believe that perhaps they're not good enough, such as players like Nico Tresoldi, Hersu Girassi, etc., etc. So on one hand, you have center forwards who would be good enough, but you cannot sign. On the other hand, you have center forwards who are possible but to sign, but are not good enough. And Barcelona have decided that they're not going to spend money on a center forward unless that center forward can come and improve the team, make the team better. So that means that either Barcelona sign Julián Alvarez or they won't sign anyone else. Now, the plan is to wait until the final days of the summer transfer market and improve the offer for Julián. And if that works, great. But if it doesn't, then Barcelona will not sign anyone, especially after the league opener where, of course, Rafinha played as a false nine. Fermin played as a false nine as well, and they each scored 2 goals. And, of course, we still have Anthony Gordon and Karim Adeyemi, even potentially Dani Olmo, who could also play as a false nine. So Barcelona have plenty of options. So Barcelona sign Julián, great. And if not, Barcelona have options. Now, it is reported that Rafinha has offered himself to play as a 9. So Flick knows that Rafinha is willing to do that. But again, we have so many options. It doesn't even matter. Now, in my opinion, I don't think Barcelona should increase the offer for Julian Alvarez, because I think the ones with the problem here is Atletico Madrid. They have a player who's not happy to be there. That's going to cause his teammates to be unhappy as well. The coach, Simeone, he's not happy that his main star is not happy. And the fans are not happy. They have an unsustainable situation on their hand. There's no reason to throw more money at it. I think we should just wait and say, hey, you guys have a huge problem. You want to get rid of it? I'll be happy to take that problem off your hands and in the process offer you 100 mil. You don't want to? Screw you then. We have plenty of solutions for the number 9. You guys are the ones with the problem. Anyways, and my second opinion, Julián, bro, if you're watching this, please shave that mustache. We don't need you looking like a registered sex offender. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation. And with that, we'll wrap this video up. I'm going to upload another video, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, peace, guys.